Hey everyone, welcome to Homeschool. And today I am with the diagram session. As I promised in the biology video, today I am going to show you how to draw these diagrams easily in your examination. Not only drawing a diagram, I'll be telling you the importance of every part that is there in a diagram, because diagram based questions can also be asked in the board examination for 1 mark or 2 mark. So this session really helps you to score more marks in your board examination. So do watch the video till the end and get 100% benefit out of it. Okay, so first and foremost, the very important diagrams from the chapter life processes. See, from the chapter life process, at least one diagram is compulsorily be asked either for 3 marks or 4 marks. See, first one is drawing human heart, and later drawing the structure of nephron, isn't it? So first we will see how to draw a diagram of human heart. Right, this is really very important diagram and I'll show you how to draw it very easily. So just initially I'll start with something like this. Say you have to take this particular shape. I mean, don't draw it straight, just little cross. Clear? And after that, this one like this. Okay, and you move it. And as you move it at the center, your thickness must increase. Okay, see, you're moving it like this. Here, little thin. So here it has to be thinner. And as you come at the center, it should be thicker. So similarly, just do it this way. And here also, move it this line at the center. And as you move at the center, it has to be thicker. Right? So this has to be the shape of your heart. Clear everyone? And later from the center you have to do a line something like this. Clear? And at the center it has to be thicker. As you move upper and upper, it has to become thinner. Clear? So this much is I think it's clear for you. Fine. And now what you have to do is say exactly here. Say this cone like structure has ended here, no? So from here I'm starting a structure something like this. Okay, so a structure something like this. One more line. This much is over. Fine. And after that, and here I will take a structure something like this. Fine. And after this much, what I would do is I'll start drawing aorta first. Right? See, aorta, I'm selecting a pink chalk piece. Say you just have to do like this, right? Like this. And this is how. And this one, this particular line, that has to be come till here. Clear? Fine. And now what I do is these things I'll erase. Aorta, right? This is actually your aorta. Right? Very simple. Don't make it too much complicated. Say just do it as I show it on a board. Definitely you will get a mark. Right? And if you are doing exactly according to your textbook, it is well and good. Say I am showing this for the people who are finding very difficult with the diagram. At least if you can do something like this, you get a full mark. Right? You have a chance of getting full mark. Okay. So this much is clear, right? Okay, so this is actually our aorta, and now I will try to draw vena cava. See how I draw the vena cava. From here I am taking a shape. See, with blue chalk piece I am drawing a vena cava. See, I have taken a shape like this and this something like this. Okay, see, and now what I do is I erase these lines. So you can erase these lines. So this is actually our vena cava. Right? Fine. And now, from here, right? From here, I will take a shape something like this and I'll do it. Okay? Fine. This is vena cava and this is another vena cava. Superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Isn't it? Okay. So, this part is over and let me come to this part. So, what I do it here is I'd be erasing this and I would do something like this. Okay, I am actually showing the pulmonary vein, guys. So this is our pulmonary vein. That's it, right? And this is, pulmonary artery, right? Like this. You just have to do something like this. Over. So this is your heart. Clear? And one more thing, actually few lines, show it like this. It's like you're showing some valves here. Okay? Like this. That's it. So this completes your heart. If you want to shade these things, you can shade it, or if you want to leave as such, you can leave it as such also, not a issue. Just I am shading this. And you see the heart, as you come at the bottom, the thickness must increase. You have to show that thickness. Clear? So I'm just showing this. Fine. Over. So drawing heart is over. Now I'm trying to label it for you. Say this is what? This is our pulmonary vein. This is pulmonary vein. Okay. And through pulmonary vein, blood actually enters into the heart, isn't it? So blood enters into where? It will enter into left atrium, isn't it? So from left atrium it will enter, and through aorta it will go outside and it will get distributed throughout the body parts, isn't it? So this is your pulmonary vein. From pulmonary vein it is entering where, guys? It is entering to left atrium. From left atrium to bottom chamber is called as left ventricle. This is our left ventricle. Clear? So from left ventricle, this oxygenated blood is moving where? It is what? Our aorta. This is aorta. Very, very important part of human heart is aorta, because through aorta oxygenated blood is circulated throughout the body. Okay, fine. And this part is over. Now let me label this part. Okay, and this one, this is what we call vena cava. Right? So superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. Okay, you can just write it as vena cava. That's it. Vena cava. Say from vena cava, what happens? The impure blood enters into your heart, and it will go to the right atrium. Right? It will go to the right atrium. From right atrium to right ventricle. Right? And then from right ventricle to the blood will move into pulmonary artery. From pulmonary artery, the blood will go out and it will reach the lungs. Isn't it? So this is your vena cava. From vena cava, the blood has entered to which part of the heart? This is what we call, the right atrium. Right atrium, and this is right ventricle. Right? And from right ventricle, see, blood is moving into which one? Pulmonary artery. So this is your pulmonary artery. Right? So these are some of the important, very, very important parts of human heart. Clear? And here you must know the importance of every part. Importance can also be asked. So pulmonary vein is bringing oxygenated blood, and pulmonary artery is taking deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Okay, and who is bringing deoxygenated blood from body parts to the heart? Vena cava is bringing. Right? So from vena cava, the blood, this is also vena cava, this is also vena cava. The blood enters into right atrium and then right ventricle. From right ventricle, it is going to pulmonary artery. Clear? And see aorta. Aorta is taking oxygenated blood to all body parts. Clear? So this is the diagram of human heart and the labels and the importance of different parts of human heart. Clear? I hope you understood how to draw a human heart and how to label it. So it's very simple. If you can draw this way, no need to panic. Clear? And now I will move to another diagram called the structure of nephron. Say if you draw according to the textbook, it's very good, but if you cannot draw, if you find the textbook diagram very difficult for you, then you can follow this pattern like I have showing you now. Say just draw one C shape, right, and that one again something like this. Okay, so this is your C-shaped structure, and inside this some curves you try to show, and this is one line to the curve, and this is another line, right? And you just rub a little part of it, and you just show curve structures and something like this, right? And one curve, let it be bigger one curve, let it be bigger one, and later again a curve type of structures, right? And after this, a long pipe. Clear? This is a long pipe, collecting duct actually. That's it. This is the diagram of the nephron. And now let me label the parts. And this part is called renal artery. Renal artery. And this is renal vein. Renal vein. The way I draw the diagrams on a board may not be so much perfect. I mean, it is not that very neat, but in your book you can draw it neatly. Right? Fine. And this curve things, I mean, inside this C shape, whatever these pipes are there, no, actually they are the blood capillaries, very small blood capillaries, which is a very important part of a nephron, which we call it as glomerulus. Glomerulus. Okay, and this C-shaped structure is there, no, this is called Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule. And this snaky curved structures are there, no, this is tubular part. Just you can mention it as tubular part. Again you have, actually this is called proximal convoluted tubule, this is distant convoluted tubule, and this is Henle's loop, but all together you can call it as tubular part of nephron. Clear? And this is our collecting tube, collecting duct or tube, anything. Clear? So these are the different parts of nephron, and now let us see what is the function of each part. And renal artery is the one which is actually bringing blood to the nephron. What is the work of nephron? It will help in the filtration of blood. It will help in the purification of blood, isn't it? So all that impure blood, what are the impurities that can be present in the blood? Nitrogenous waste. So mainly nitrogenous waste that is present in the blood is removed by nephron, so that blood containing nitrogenous waste enter into glomerulus. There what happens, all nitrogenous waste is removed, and the pure blood will go back through renal vein. So whatever nitrogenous waste is there, no, that's a transparent liquid collected in this Bowman's capsule, this C-shaped structure. From this C-shaped structure, that filtrate containing nitrogenous waste will move to this tubular part. In this tubular part, what happens is, if any other nutrients like glucose, amino acids are present in a filtrate, they get absorbed in the tubular part. Okay, and then finally the nitrogenous waste will get collected through collecting tube. Right? So what is the work of glomerulus? That is the main filtrating unit here. It is a group of small blood capillaries that helps in the purification of blood. Clear? And Bowman's capsule is just a disc-shaped structure which can collect the filtrate. I mean, that's called urine now. So urine is collected in the Bowman's capsule, and later it will move towards the tubular part, and through the tubular part it will go to the collecting tube. Right? So in the tubular part, whatever amino acids, glucose is present, that is reabsorbed. Clear? So these are the different parts function that you have to concentrate for nephron. Clear? So these are the two important diagrams from life processes. One is human heart, the other one is nephron. So compulsorily one diagram can be asked from these two. Clear? And now we will go for the diagrams of control and coordination chapter. See, the first important structure in a chapter is structure of neuron. Say, many of you will get confused between the words nephron and neuron. Nephron is structural and functional unit of kidneys, okay, which I have shown it previously. And neuron is functional unit of nervous system. Clear? So both structures are very much different, so you should not get confused. Say, what you have to do is, you can just draw some C-shaped structures initially, something like this. And one structure, one C, make it a long tube. Another C, make it a long tube. And end something like this. Okay, so this is how you have to end this. And now these C-shaped structures are there now. Show a hair-like or thread-like structures, something like this. So what are these? These are our dendrites. Clear? So these are some hair-like structures. You should make it, or finger-like structure you can call them as, however it is, something like this. Clear? Over. And centrally a nucleus. And now and on a long elongated tube, something like this. Okay, this is actually called as myelin sheath. This is our myelin sheath. That's it. So this is our structure of neuron. Very, very simple. Clear? And now let me try to label the parts. Say, these finger-like or hair-like structures are called as dendrites. Clear? And this whole thing, the nucleus and the whole thing is actually called cell body. Cell body, or I can say this thing is called as cell body. And this whole long elongated tube-like structure is axon. And this one is nerve endings. Nerve ending. Clear? That's it. Very simple. So you must know what do you mean by dendrite, cell body and axon. These are the three important parts of neuron. So dendrites are the one which actually takes the information out of stimulus. Clear? And that information is passed through axon and later to the nerve ending. So this how electric impulse gets passed in the neuron. Clear? So structure is very, very simple, and you can draw it neatly along with the labeling. Fine. And now very, very important diagram, one more diagram if it is asked, it can be asked for 4 marks, and that is a diagram of human brain. Human brain. Okay, so this also I'll show it in a much simple way. First, you see, I'm drawing one curve like this, and I'll draw another curve like this. Okay, and this curve I'll join with this smaller curve like this, and this curve also I'll join with the smaller curve like that. Clear? And after that, here let me show one structure, something like this. Okay, like this. Just put it this way. Fine. And now here in the same shape, take one curve and do it like this. And after that, this one, some curves, some turns I'm taking here. Okay, this is the first turn, this is the second turn, third turn. I'm just doing it this way. Clear? And similarly, take few turns this side also, and do it this way. Over. Major structure is over. You had got some shape here. Clear? Fine. And now inside, just in a same shape, in a similar shape, some structure must come and it should end something like this. Clear? Over. And now what you have to do is, in this, you have to fill the gray matter in this. Say it's very simple to fill, just some C-shaped structures. Take it this way. C-shaped structures, and then again in the opposite direction, something like this. Okay, and then something like this. That's it. Right? However the way you want, however the way. It doesn't have a perfect shapes actually, right? Say this is what we have done. And now here, you know what? Here we have to draw some tree-shaped structure like this. Tree-shaped structure, and one more like this. Okay, like this, and this is shade it or put these lines here. Clear? And now show some branches like this. Something like this, branches. Okay, fine. Major part is over. Now we are giving coverings. Say actually these are I'm covering, okay, different coverings on a brain. So that one I'm drawing now, which we call it as cranium. I'm drawing a cranium now. Okay, something like this. Okay, say this is your human brain. Now let me label the parts, and this covering is there, no? This covering we call it as cranium, which is nothing but a skull. Okay, and this is very important part, cerebrum for brain. It's one of the important part of for brain, that is cerebrum. Clear? And now this part is there, no? This tree-like structure is called cerebellum. Very, very important part, cerebellum, right? And after that, coming to this part, this one, this is our midbrain. Midbrain. Labeling is also very, very important. And this one is pituitary gland, and this bigger curve I have shown it here, right? That is our pituitary gland. Pituitary gland. Clear? And now coming here, this is pons. You can take it as a pons, and this is your medulla oblongata, or you can just write it as medulla. So these are the different important parts of human brain. Clear? And here each and every part, cerebrums, cerebellum, medulla, every part's function you must know, that I have clearly explained in the biology video, that is target of scoring 60 marks out of 80. That video link I'll provide in the description, where you can check every part's function. Right? So this is how easily you can draw human brain and label its parts. So these are the two structures that can be asked from the chapter control and coordination. And now I will move to the chapter how do organisms reproduce. See guys, the first diagram that you have to concentrate here is longitudinal section of flower. Clear? And this is very easiest diagram. You no need to struggle too much, where showing its parts is also as important as drawing the diagram. So how do you draw it? Okay, let me start from style onwards. See, I'll just take one elongated tube and then I'll make around here. Clear? And this one is something like this. And now, and this is a stalk, whereas these are actually the sepals. Okay, fine. Next would be, let me draw the stamens now. So stamens are something like this. Okay, and on a stamen you will have anthers, so called anthers, right? This is one anther and this would be another anther, so another stamen with anther. Okay, and the two stamens this side also. So you draw it much more neatly. I'm just showing you how to draw it easily, but you have to draw little more neatly than me, because it's you who is going to write the examination. Just I'm guiding you how you can draw all this easily, right? So after drawing these many stamens, you show the petals now. So showing a petal, how do you show the petal? Okay, you can show however you want, it's not a big issue. This is one petal, this is another petal, and this is my third petal. Over. So this is our longitudinal section of flower, whereas I'll start labeling the parts now, and this is our stigma, and this elongated pipe-like structure is style, and this one is ovary. Inside the ovary you will have egg, isn't it? So this is ovary, right? And these are stamens, the male reproductive organs, stamens, and these are sepals, which actually protects the ovary, and these colored things are called as petals, isn't it? So that's it. So this is your longitudinal section of flower, right? Guys, now let us see a diagram on germination of pollen on stigma. Pollen on stigma. This is also very important diagram for SSLC board examination. So concentrate this. It's also very simple, guys. So you just have to draw something like this, and this is actually our stigma, and you know this is our ovary, isn't it? So draw it much more neatly. Okay, so this is our ovary. Fine. And now something like this, and to this show it this way. Clear? Fine. And after that show a structure of ovule. So this is our ovule. So inside the ovule, here 3 dots you show, I mean 3 small circles, and here 2, and here 3. Actually this is our female germ cell. This is this one is our female germ cell. Clear? So that's how you have to draw the ovule. And then now the thing is, you have to show the pollen grain extension. Fine. So this is our pollen grain. Okay, and now it's growing. It's growing. A long tube would come like this. Like this, a long tube will come towards, you know, female germ cell. Clear? So here male germ cell would be there inside a tube, and that would be coming through the tube. So here the tube has become little narrow, but you have to draw much bigger. Okay, let me show it this way. Little bigger one. Okay, so this is our pollen tube. Clear? So you have to draw much more neatly. So pollen, from a pollen grain, a long tube is growing towards our female germ cell to reach, male germ cell to reach our female germ cell. Clear? So this is how you have to show. Now the label parts. So important part is the pollen tube only. So this is your pollen tube, and this is your male germ cell. Male germ cell, and here this is your female germ cell. Clear? Fine. And now rest of the story, this is, we call it as ovary. right? And this is style, and this is stigma, and this is pollen grain. Yeah. So these are the different parts of the diagram. So what is the diagram? Germination of pollen on stigma, or the growth of pollen tube. That also can be a heading. Clear, everyone? So these are the two important diagrams from how do organisms reproduce. Clear? So so far I have shown you the 6 diagrams. 6 diagrams are the most important diagrams, guys. So from these 6 diagrams, at least 2 diagrams will definitely come, either for 3 marks, say one diagram for 3 marks, or the other diagram for 4 marks. Clear? Or 2 marks plus 4 mark. So altogether 6 to 7 marks would be coming from these 6 diagrams alone. So you have to be very, very careful. So now I will show few diagrams from chemistry part. Guys, from acids, bases and salts, you have 2 diagrams. Under that, the first important diagram is reaction of zinc granules with dilute acid. Here it is dilute H2SO4 and testing hydrogen gas. Very, very important diagram, can be asked for 2 marks. So how do you draw a diagram here? Just start from the stand onwards. Okay. So this is actually your stand, right? Something like this. Fine. And now the stand has elongated rod, right? So this is some elongated rod on a stand, where here we are fixing actually something like this. Show it like this, and here becomes your test tube. Okay, so you are holding a test tube. So this is a test tube, big test tube. Fine. So something is holding a test tube here. Fine. And test tube has fitted with a cork. So this we call it as a cork. And through the cork there is a pipe, isn't it? So you have a pipe here. And this pipe, this is what we call a delivery pipe, isn't it? So this pipe would move all along and it will go to a soap solution, isn't it? So this is our so-called particular beaker which is having a soap solution all over, right? And that delivery tube is into the soap solution. Okay, so this is your major diagram, outline of the diagram. So in this test tube, what you have? This is your zinc granules. So to zinc granules, when you add sulfuric acid, what you would observe? You would observe bubbles of hydrogen gas coming outside. So these bubbles would enter into a delivery tube. They will move all along to a delivery tube to soap solution, right? And here bubbles filled with hydrogen gas you will observe. So these bubbles are filled with hydrogen gas. Say the moment you held a candle onto these bubbles, you will observe fire, isn't it? So when do you observe fire? When you held with a candle. So this is candle with flame. So this is your fire burning. Bubbles are getting burnt. I mean hydrogen bubbles are getting burst, isn't it? So which is a delivery tube? They'll ask you to label the delivery tube. So this is your delivery tube. And they'll ask you to label the hydrogen gas. You know, these bubbles are filled with hydrogen gas. And here also, see, these bubbles are also hydrogen gas. So they are coming through delivery tube, and the moment you pass it through soap solution, so you would have bigger bubbles filled with hydrogen gas. The moment you held with a flame of a candle, it burst with fire, and you get a pop sound when it is bursting, isn't it? So this is all about the diagram of showing, this diagram shows the reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid. And in the same chapter, you have another diagram, that is acid solution conducting electricity. Acid solution conducting electricity. So how do you show that diagram? It is also very simple. You just have to show one beaker. So this is a kind of a beaker. Okay, so in the beaker you have to fix a cork. This is a cork, and the cork will have two nails. Okay, so this is one nail and this is another iron nail. So these are actually the iron nails, right? So the nails are connected to a battery. One nail is connected to a negative terminal, and the other nail is connected to a positive terminal, right? So this is a positive terminal. In between you will have a bulb, and this is switch, right? So this is your outline, and till here the beaker is filled with acid solution. So this is till here you have acid dilute HCl solution, right? Dilute HCl solution, and these are iron nails, and this is bulb and this is battery, right? So this is the diagram of acid solution conducting electricity. So these are the two diagrams from the chapter acids, bases and salts. So now we will see a diagram from metals and non-metals chapter. So among the three diagrams, definitely one diagram is asked either for 2 marks or 3 marks. Clear? Fine. So here is a diagram from metals and non-metals chapter, that is action of steam on metal. Action of steam on metal. Okay. So how do you start the diagram? Okay, let us start the diagram by putting a stand initially. So this is our stand. So just do it this way, stand. Okay. And then a big rod on a stand, right? So this is our big rod. Fine. And now you have to draw one test tube, something like this. So test tube would be passing. Actually the stand is holding this particular test tube. Let me draw it a little more neatly. See, I think you can draw more neatly than me. So I'm just showing you the main concept of drawing it easily. Say this particular stand is actually holding this particular test tube. Okay, and now our test tube has the cotton wool. Okay, cotton wool soaked in water, right? So this is cotton wool soaked in water, and here you actually have a metal piece, metal, right? And this cotton wool is actually heated with the help of a flame that is coming from Bunsen burner. This is called as a Bunsen burner. Okay, so something like this, you will have a burner. So this is a flame, and the steam would come from this wet cotton wool, and then that steam would pass through a metal, so that what happens is a hydrogen gas is actually liberated. And how do you get to know that the hydrogen gas is liberated? So that for that we will fix a small pipe here. So there is a pipe. Okay, so through the pipe actually that hydrogen gas is coming out. And where is the pipe leading to? Pipe actually leads to a beaker that contains water, right? So beaker will again has a test tube, inverted test tube you will have, and this inverted test tube is held by actually one more stand. So there will be another stand connected here. Okay, So there is actually another stand that is holding this particular beaker. Okay, let me show it a little longer. Another rod is there. This is one more rod. Okay, so this is your another stand. That's it. So this is your major one, and you know this tube you have to show it, and it is there here. So through this hydrogen gas is going, and these are hydrogen gas, and this gas gets collected here. So this is your hydrogen gas. They'll ask you to label the hydrogen gas. So this is here your hydrogen gas gets collected, and you know all through this particular tube and the entire beaker, you know what does this contain? This contains water. Okay, so water would be filled, and there is a gap in the test tube where hydrogen gas gets filled up. Clear? So here they'll ask you to label one thing, that is hydrogen gas. Okay, and this is a tube, and this is a metal and wet cotton wool. Clear? A beaker of water. So this is what the diagram for action of steam on metal. Say basic thing I have shown, you can draw much more neatly in your exam. Clear? So these are the three diagrams from chemistry. And now let us discuss about the physics part diagrams. See, diagrams in the physics part is nothing but the circuit diagrams. Say the first thing is, you know, they'll ask you to show the resistors that are connected in series. They'll ask you a circuit diagram that contains resistors in series, or they'll ask you resistors in parallel. Okay, so these are the two important circuit diagrams you have to practice. They are not so much difficult. It's not that I have to show it on a board, right? Say I'm just giving an information that you have to look over those two circuit diagrams. And apart from these circuit diagrams, you have to know magnetic field lines. Okay, so if you have a bar magnet, say for example south pole and the north pole, so magnetic field lines direction you have to show. So how do you show that? Say magnetic field lines always emerge from north to south, isn't it? Say like this, you can show two loops or how many ever loops you want. Don't forget to show the arrow mark properly. Arrow mark should you have to show it from north pole to south pole, and then these lines, you know, and they will go from south to north, isn't it? Then arrow mark have to be shown like this. So this is magnetic field lines diagram. Okay, properties of magnetic field is very important question. Apart from this, you know, they'll ask you motor, electric motor and generator, which is nothing but dynamo. You know, the 3-mark question or 4-mark question can be asked on this. They would ask you principle, construction and working of electric motor, or principle, construction and working of electric generator. That's all about the diagram part. See, altogether straight away 12 to 16 marks can be asked from diagrams only. So you need to practice the diagrams neatly, thoroughly, and label the parts and try to understand the function of each and every part, especially the biology part, which part has what function. You know, diagrammatic based questions can also be asked. So be careful with that. So with this, I complete my video. Hope this has given enough benefit for each and everyone. Share the videos with your friends also. Let everybody get benefit, and do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. All the best for your examinations. Good luck and thank you so much.